Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Bezrat Hashem, שתי כל השנה הלכות, בעזרת השם, two הלכות of the day. Today, בעזרת השם, ברשות הרב דאטרה, הגבאים, we're holding on the 19th of the month of Shvat, which is Monday, the second day of the week of Parashat Shabbat, Parashat Mishpatim, Bezrat Hashem. Today we'll be discussing mitzvah number 235, the mitzvah of an obligation to judge properly. To judge, let's say the mishpat amiti. There is no political correctness. A judgment must be passed. There's no question that. So that's mitzvah number 235. We'll analyze it in a second. Mitzvah number 236 today, which is a very important mitzvah, the prohibition of going around and being a talebearer. You cannot go around and say to people, by the way, you know, this one talked to you about this one said about this, like chas v'shalom. Okay, with Hashem's help, let's start. 235 tells us like this, that there's an obligation on an individual who knows how to make a judgment. A person who, Baruch Hashem, lamat Torah, he knows Choshen Mishpat back and forth, he knows all the poskim in the halacha. It's actually, if he doesn't go and somebody approaches him and says, please help us to resolve an issue, financial issue, that the dispute between me and my friend or my partner, whatever it is, or my neighbor, he is obligated. This is what this mitzvah is actually talking to him specifically. Why? Chas v'shalom, if he says, he's misaref, he's going to say, it's not for me, right? Even though Chachamim tell us, yes, that al tiyeh dan yechidi. The best thing is to have a beidin, 3 people judgment, it's very nice. But there is no 3 people, it's going to be more organized, it's going to cost more money, people don't have litigants, don't have the money. What should you do? The Chacham. If 2 people agree on the Chacham, they say, this Chacham will judge us, he is, lechoira, from this mitzvah, is obligated to take the case. If not, says the Chinuch, B'Shem Rambam, that if he doesn't take the case, what's going to happen? These 2 people are going to end up with some amaretz, somebody, and usually most people go to the richest man in town, or they go to a president of the synagogue who doesn't know any halacha, but he's in business. Okay, so he knows, lechoira, he knows the business. Chas v'shalom, and in the end, it's going to be over there, mamash gezel. Mamash gezel. No, additional thing that Chinuch explains to us, that the mitzvah over here includes also that you should judge people favorably, right? We are in the midah of, we're in the business of judgment, unfortunately. I have a whole big discussion about it. Why the Chazal tell us that you should dan lekol adam lekab zechut, because unfortunately we have that nature within us. We're all judges. We like to judge. What can you do? So Chazal says, since you have no choice, you're created in a matter that you love to judge everybody. So Chazal came and instituted, go judge everybody favorably. So the Chinuch explains it's part of this mitzvah also. Okay, so okay, so they have to agree on this dayan. Okay, now let's say somebody summoned somebody to the judgment, and he doesn't want to go. This person doesn't want to go to this beidin that he's summoned him. So he would write to the beidin. Yes, I would love to have a different beidin. So if the other party agrees, kol hakavod. And if he doesn't agree, so they will do today. It's very common. The judges, again, because each one has a chiyuv to judge, we can't just push away. We're not allowed. Basically over here, it's obligating the judges to judge the case. They can't just push it away. So here, what would happen if that's the discrepancy? He wants this beidin, he wants this beidin. Now what you do? They would do is they would take one judge from this beidin, one judge from this beidin, and they will both of them be machlit who's the third party from a different beidin. Okay, so this way you have shalom beinehem, and that's the chiyuv of mitzvah number 235. And the ikar is, we will see that next mitzvah is also, actually it's not. The previous days we already said the ikar of beidin is to shalom malchut. It's shalom of the yishuv. You can't have a community, you can't have a society build if there is no judgment. There's nobody chas v'shalom differentiating or chas v'shalom resolving if there is machlokot, should be staying far away from it. Mitzvah number 235. It tells us that you are not allowed to be rochel, going from one friend to another friend, telling him all the, this guy did like this. This is a poshet upshat. The Chazal and the Chinuch over here goes on a very, very high tangent, and he goes like this. He says that he's going to tell you one little, there's a hilchot of avak lashon hara. What does that mean? Let's say, for instance, just this is a small nekuda. Let's say Reuven is fighting with Shimon. Says the Chinuch, you're not allowed to praise in front of Shimon Reuven. Reuven, let's say, donated $10,000 to the Beit Knesset. You cannot make sure when you want to get up and praise Reuven for his act, you have to make sure Shimon doesn't hear it. Because what happens if Shimon hears you praising Reuven, the first thing he's going to say, Zed, Gazlan, he stole the money. For sure he has money to donate. You hear? Turning a mitzvah into avirah, so that could be that if you're standing in a crowd and you want to praise somebody, you have to be very cautious to make sure that there is no machloket between these two people that you want to pray. That there's nobody who has a machloket. Like in English, it's called. There's nobody who has the beef. You know the beef. You got some beef. Yeah. There's no beef between each other. There's no beef. There's no fighting each other. You could praise them. Otherwise, you be very cautious. He says it's in the law of this law, 236, and unfortunately, very common. Unfortunately, today, people call on their neighbors. People call on the neighbors, right? They call the government. You call the government. The guy calls him up. What happened? I don't understand you, Rashaim. The guy starts. Hey, you, the inspector. You pass by my house every time you give me a ticket. Down the block, there's this guy over there. His grass is 10 times bigger than mine. You don't bother him. Yeah, small thing. Yeah, you're wow. I have a big machloket with a big Rav, big Dayan, big Posek in Brooklyn. He wrote a sefer called Guide, a halachic guide, and he writes in the book. What does he write? If a person does not remove his snow, you are allowed to call a government on this Jew because he didn't remove the snow. It's dangerous. Yeah, the Chocham. I say, Allah here says a Rambam that it's a sur in this. If you call a government ever on a Jew, ever, you're chayav mitah. And it says Loshen, Kol hakodem ve'argeu alei harei ze lezocheh. If a Jew is coming to harm another Jew in any way financially, anybody kills this person gets a big mitzvah, says Rambam. Ad kedei kach. You going with that? First of all, I give you many reasons. He's still Akshan is an older person already, but what does that mean? You're calling a government? They're going to give him a ticket. They're going to find him. What happens to these tickets? In the end, they take over the houses. Yeah. In the end, they accumulate tickets. Yeah, they want to take over the Mamas Resha. You're going to call now. Let's take the scenario of snow. How many people snow? You ever been on snow? Anybody knows what snow is?
Snow?
Yeah.
I saw it in a movie.
Yeah. If you live in a forest, I never heard somebody got tripped in the forest and fell down. You know why? Because there's no ice. What's the problem with snow? I explained to the guy, I said, listen, Rabbi, there's a big problem with your problem. What's the problem? Is halakha b'firish. If there's many mezikim, there's other people who do the nezik, not me. The snow in front of my house, if it was not stepped on, it's not dangerous. Haraya, it's not slippery. It's snow. What happens when the climate changes and the people are stepping on snow? Become ice. Now, who made the danger? Me or the people who stepped on the snow? Okay, I understand what you're saying. I didn't clean my snow. I'm zero chayav. Where's my responsibility? I am not the person who tripped. I didn't do anything to him. First of all, snow. Who sent the snow?
But it's your responsibility.
Who sent the snow, Habibi? Who sent the snow? Hashem. Somebody else made out of the snow hezek. Not me. I didn't do it.
Still your responsibility.
Okay, you want to be a nice me the toiva. You live with the people. Go clean it. But to call a government on a hezek that I didn't cause, that's already a sur. It says, it's affect you putting yourself in sakana. Anybody who puts any halshana, anytime you contact the government to have another Jew hurt, says Rambam chayav mitah v'kol ha'orgo harei ze lezocheh. Baruch Adonai le'olam amen. Amen.